the leader in talk radio on the Internet, right here on K98Talk.com.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
All right, folks, this is Rick Robinson with you. I want to tell you about some friends of mine from a company called Security Enforcement Specialists. When I ran my security agency for 12 years, I worked with one of these partners on a daily basis. He's been involved in this agency now, and with his other partner, they do have over 30 years of experience in the private security industry. If you own a business and you need someone to keep you or your customers or residents safe, then I highly recommend contacting Security Enforcement Specialists today. Give them a call at 405-703-1796. Again, that's 405-703-1796. Again, tell them Rick from K98 Talk sent you. Like I said, if you need the help, they are here for you. So make sure that you go look them up, check them out, and see what they can do.
Wrong way. Welcome to the place.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
To get up to like $68,000. My heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
The Internet will never be the same. You're listening to K98Talk.com.
Wow. Good God, y'all. What is it good for? Absolutely. Let's get started again.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
To get up to like $68,000. My heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
From the East Coast to the West Coast and around the world on the Internet, we're coming to you live from the CCRS studios. WNJC 1360. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with your host, Rick Trader. The Conservative Commandos radio show, where the newsmakers go to be heard. Drink my wine. You can call the Conservative Commandos radio show at 856-227-1360. Your opinion counts at 856-227-1360.
This is Congressman Alan West, and you're listening to the Conservative Commando radio show.
Welcome, everybody, and welcome, fellow patriots. Welcome once again to the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Rick Trader, coming to you live from the studios of the Conservative Commandos radio network, WNJC 1360 in Philadelphia, and around the world on the internet with CPR Worldwide Media, TalkStream Live, SHR Media, K98 Talk, iHeartRadio, Rebooting Liberty Radio Network, AM, FM 24/7, Leading Edge Radio Network, Roar Radio, and now HighPlainsDailyNews.com. And joining me today as my co-host is the exceptional one, the exceptional conservative from Washington, D.C., Kenneth McClinton. Ken, welcome to the Conservative Commandos radio show.
Mr. Benevolent Dictator Rick, it is always a pleasure to be with you and those who are in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey, and all around the Conservative Commandos radio network on Friday.
And it's great to be with you once again. And actually, Ken, I think we're going to be seeing each other tomorrow, aren't we?
Yes, we will. We have the great pleasure of attending the Christmas celebrations by the Wade family and Kevin Wade hosting, of course.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to that. It's been a while since we have gotten together and broken bread.
Exactly, or pizza.
Or pizza, or whatever, anything. So, Ken, what's on your radar screen today?
Well, on the radar screen today, there are a number of things, and we're going to talk all about terrorism. But there is a terrorism that's going on in our public school systems. And that's where individuals who use their access to wealth, that's taxpayer wealth, that is, and as well, their abilities to manipulate contracts and things where they take advantage and are now being indicted throughout the country. One of those happens to be a young woman out of the wonderful state of Michigan. And she is Miss Kenyatta Wilborn Snap, who was the principal at Denby High School. She was indicted recently for taking kickbacks from contracts with charter school vendors and other entities. And she swears that she was never truly involved to the level that's spoken of by the prosecutors, but certainly she's prosecuted on that end. And what's happening is, in our community, you have individuals who are quick to call Antonin Scalia a racist for saying what he did about colleges and black students. But you hear nothing from them when you find out that individuals who have been taking advantage of the public school system and get caught are prosecuted. It behooves us to begin taking a look at how the educational system is being manipulated so that our children don't learn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and our children, in my opinion, our children are not learning.
Yeah.
Test results are down. Why are they down? I don't know. I don't have any answers for that. But I know one thing. Too much of time is going to teaching kids about bullying and self-esteem, and not enough time is spent on reading, writing, and arithmetic. Add science to that if you want. Add history to that, too. But kids today are being taught a whole bunch of stuff. They're not even being taught how to be successful in life.
Exactly. And one of the great problems that we have, and that's where I want to go with the next thing that's on the agenda of thought, is the recent decision by the U.S. Congress to get rid of portions of Common Core. The whole concept is that we have no longer taught our children to think. We've taught them how to take tests. And they're not even doing that well.
No, they're not. We're not.
Yeah,
the results show they're not doing that well. And that's how we're getting the results.
Exactly. And I referenced Wednesday's comments by Antonin Scalia when he was speaking from the dais in the Supreme Court regarding a case against the Texas University in which a young white female was not allowed to go to the institution. The reason was given that her spot was taken by a lesser prepared minority student. And that student was able to use affirmative action to get into the school itself. And she said, well, that doesn't make sense. We should be there on merit, not on the color of skin.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And so Antonin Scalia basically said, why are we sending black children or any type of child to an institution that they're not going to succeed in? Why not allow them to go to institutions where they will be successful in? And now, it's not all black children that are not doing well in college, but there's a large majority of black children, whether it's a historically black college or a university, a private university, who are not doing well, who are not graduating, and the job of schools is not to enroll people. The jobs of schools is to graduate them.
And to educate them. To educate them. Am I educate them, prepare them for life, prepare them for a career? That's not being done either, Ken. It's not being done in our colleges today either.
Yeah, I'll be so sorry to say that that's terrorism.
Well, too many kids are coming out of college with a degree in fun. They're not being prepared for life. Too many kids are coming out of college and not in a field that involves what they went to college for in the first place.
Exactly. Social work is not the answer to everything. Going to school for social work and communications is not the answer for everything.
Psych majors are out there working at Chipotle's, you know?
Yes, exactly.
You know, and you got to blame parents too, Ken. They ought to know. They're there. They know their kids aren't ready for whatever. And I think they have relied too much, parents have relied too much on a failed educational system, depending upon this failed educational system to help their kids grow up or to grow their kids up in the absence of them being parents. You know, if I had a kid, I'm such an expert at raising children. That's because I don't have any. I don't have any predetermined biases. I wouldn't let my child enroll in as a psych major. I mean, what are you going to do with that? You know, go into pre-med if you want. Go into pre-med, pre-law, accounting, business. Business, in my opinion, is the best way to go. But prepare yourself for life. I got a friend right now, Ken, friend of the family's, single mother, spent a hell of a lot of money to send two daughters to college. Really didn't get a lot of help from the father.
Yeah.
One is out in California trying to be an actress, and the other is home taking care of babies. And I have no problem with either one of them, okay?
Yeah.
But in my opinion, they didn't need college degrees to do those things.
Yes, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And you and I both know, Rick, we know guys who knew that they were not college material and didn't perpetrate a fraud.
Yeah, me. You know, I come in that category, Ken.
Yeah.
Just calling me in the middle of the show. I don't know. My bride.
Trying to get on the education conversation.
Ken, let's go to a break, and then I'll find out what my lovely bride wants. And you are listening to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Ken McClinton and Rick Trader, coming to you from the studios of the Conservative Commandos radio network, WNJC 1360 in Philly, and around the world on the internet. Don't go away, Ken and I will be right back.
They say I'm crazy, I really don't care. That's my prerogative. They say I'm messy, but I...
The Conservative Commandos radio show is expanding to become the Conservative Commandos radio network. We are establishing a front line of conservative radio broadcasters and ironclad patriots to declare war against the madness of liberalism and the Obama administration. Are you tired of the disregard for our Constitution? Do you still have faith in the American dream? Are you looking for sensible, smart radio? If so, listen to the Conservative Commandos Radio Network every weekday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on WNJC Radio, 1360 on your AM dial, or around the world on the internet at WNJCradio.com. Check out our website, CCRSnetwork.com, for rebroadcasts and network updates. We are the Conservative Commandos Radio Network, where now even more newsmakers go to be heard.
Hi, this is Bob Viden, owner of Bob's Little Sports Shop in Glassboro, New Jersey. I've had the opportunity to travel in many foreign countries, and I've seen what happens to people when they lose their freedom. I wrote this poem. Give us freedom was the cry as they marched throughout the night. At Concord Bridge in Trenton, for freedom they would fight. To build a nation that would last with peace and liberty, it is a job that's never done if we are to be free. They wrote a declaration to announce that we are free, then a constitution for all the world to see. But this is ink on paper. We must make it last. It must always be defended, and that is quite a task. Today the battle rages for freedom in our land. To save our Constitution, we all must take a stand. We must stand up for freedom in our actions every day, and you can stand up with us. Join the NRA. This is Bob Viden of Bob's Little Sports Shop in Glassboro, New Jersey. You may call us at area code 856-881-7575 or visit us online at bobslittle.sportshop.com.
This holiday season, help Soldiers for Stockings improve the morale and welfare of members of our armed forces deployed overseas. Now through November 20th, there is so much work to be done, and you can help in many ways. Download the stocking pattern from stockingsforsoldiers.org and start sewing today. Volunteer to help decorate and assemble stockings. Donate Christmas candies, snacks, nuts, chips, drink mixes, DVDs, books, magazines, lip balm, toiletries, and other items needed to fill the stocking. Or help make packets of snowman soup, hot chocolate, to send along with the stockings. For more information, patterns, and a list of items needed, visit stockingsforsoldiers.org. This holiday season, help send our troops a touch of home. For many, it's all they will receive. All stockings need to be completed by November 20th. So get started today at stockingsforsoldiers.org. That's stockingsforsoldiers.org. Stockings for Soldiers, sending stockings filled with joy to our soldiers in harm's way for the 9th consecutive year.
You can call the Conservative Commandos Radio Show at 856-227-1360. Your opinion counts at 856-227-1360.
This is Congressman Alan West, and you're listening to the Conservative Commando Radio Show.
Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos Radio Show with Ken McClinton and yours truly, Rick Trader. And for rebroadcast of our shows, please check out our websites, ccrshow.com or ccrsnetwork.com, or mornings at 9 a.m., log on to Leading Edge Radio Network at 1 p.m., roarradio.net, and at 2 p.m., highplainsdailynews.com. You can also listen to our show from your telephone, the way I did yesterday, by calling 832-999-1199. Ken McClinton, crisis averted. My wife left her bag in my car, and she just wanted to make sure that it was safe and secure.
That's right. That's a good husband. You prepared her accordingly.
Yes, I did. So, Ken, who will we be speaking with today?
Well, this is a chock-full class today of great guests. Ilan Houndelman, who served for a while guarding Isaac Rabin, who was one of the heads of state for Israel. Also, Benjamin Netanyahu, Shimon Peres, Ariel Sharon, and the former president of Israel, Ham Hazag. Well, he's going to be with us today. And we're going to talk about terrorism in America. And on a serious note, what we should be planning for that they experience every single day in Israel. That will be
agree with that. I agree with that. And in a little bit, and Ken, after we go over our guest list, or schedule,
exactly.
I've got a piece of news that was sent to our friend Mary Brockman that I'm going to talk about. But go ahead, you.
Okay.
Who else will we be interviewing?
Terrific. Low Point will join us today, and we'll be talking about Obama playing catch-up with ISIS and also about the Baltimore situation with the police officers. And at 4:35, we'll be talking with hopefully future Congresswoman Lori Bartley from Houston's 18th Congressional District about Obama's desire for an executive order on gun control.
All right. Ken, I just got, talking about security. Our first guest is going to be talking about that and saying how we need to be prepared the way the Israelis are. This was sent to me by our very dear good friend, Mary Brockman, who loves me more. Several Missouri law enforcement agencies have notified the FBI about a large amount of cell phone purchases from area Walmarts. And, of course, these are these cheap disposable phones. You don't have to have an account. You buy a card there, you fill up the telephone. Now, another incident that has some people wondering in the same area is a large number of propane tanks have been reported stolen from several locations in Independence and Lee's Summit, Missouri. At the end of November, a BP gas station in Lee's Summit reported 18 to 20 propane tanks stolen from their outside cages. That same night, the CVS reported the exact same crime. 2 weeks later, the CVS in Independence was hit and 28 tanks were hit. 28 tanks were stolen from that location. Got to be prepared, Ken. I don't know where these cell phones are going. I don't know where these propane tanks are going. But the day and age that we live in, we have to be careful. We have to be careful.
I want to get your thoughts on this, Rick, because we've been in the conservative media for such a while. But I don't know. Have you ever experienced a time such as this where you're actually getting reports that phones are being bought at the Walmart and propane tanks taken from, stores and gas stations? I mean, have you ever experienced this in America?
I don't know, Ken. We certainly live in a different age and time than we did when we were younger, or our parents or our grandparents. They had their own, different generations had their own fears, had their own worries. They went through a couple of world wars. They went through a depression. They went through Vietnam and Korea and whatever. But what's different here, Ken, is the war is being brought to our doorstep.
Yeah.
Okay? Because of our situation on the planet Earth, with great oceans separating us from the rest of the world, we're kind of isolated. Okay? But no more. We've got a government that is determined to bring perpetrators of these crimes, or potential perpetrators of these crimes, to our very front door. And that's different than before. And Ken, I've said this before, I'll say it now, I'll say it time and to come. This political correctness is going to kill us.
Yeah.
This political correctness killed those poor people in San Bernardino, California. Political correctness killed those people in Paris, France. Political correctness killed those people in Fort Hood. Political correctness killed the people in the Navy Yard in Washington. Liberalism and political correctness, in my opinion, is a threat to this country. Liberals say, and I was with a group of people last Monday night, and a couple of them were Democrats and a couple of us were Republicans, and we're sitting there talking. And the Democrat says, you Republicans, we got to be fair. We've got to let these refugees in. We've got to help these people. No, we don't need to let these people in. Yes, we need to help them, but we need to help them where they're at, not help them come here and destroy our way of life, to kill our friends, our relatives, our neighbors.
Exactly. And then in Canada, you have Trudeau.
Oh, that idiot.
What a joke of a human being, who greets the Syrians at the at the airport and wishes them the very best. And his staff admits the frankness that they're hoping that the Syrians that come will someday be voters for Trudeau and his party. I mean, that's
Ken, in my opinion, that is the point behind all of this political correctness. Not just the Syrians, but the Mexicans coming up from our border, the South and Central people from South and Central America coming here. And who are these people, Ken? They're coming here. They don't know our language. They don't have a job. They don't have a skill. They don't have an education. They're coming here, and they're going to be living on the government dime, the taxpayer-funded welfare programs, food stamps, cell phones, free housing, free heat, free medical care, and it's all the agenda of the left to bring more voters here so they can gain and control endless power in this country. Endless power.
Exactly. The unfortunate thing is that we're getting poor and as well more threatened with every decision that these utopians make in Washington, D.C. And the scary thing is that you have Republicans who are now saying that if Donald Trump wins, I'm going to vote for Hillary Clinton. What a sick and sad world we're in.
Well, you know, what I'm afraid of is somebody like Donald Trump going rogue and deciding to run as a third-party candidate because, in my opinion, that guarantees a Hillary Clinton victory. Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, whoever you want to put in that place, whoever is the Democrat nominee. I mean, this should be a slam dunk win. For conservatives, for Republicans. My God, in my opinion, Donald Trump is not a conservative. Ladies and gentlemen, check out his background. Check out what he's said in the past. Check out what he's done in the past. Check out who he's given money to in the past. What candidates he's given money to. Like Nancy Pelosi, Harry Reid, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama. Check out his past. He is not a conservative. In my opinion, he should not even be considered as a candidate, okay, for the Republican nomination. You know, I'm a Ted Cruz guy. Hey, Ken, got to take a break. You are listening to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Ken McClinton and Rick Trader, coming to you from the studios of the Conservative Commandos radio network and WNJC 1360 in Philly. Around the world on the internet with CPR Worldwide Media, TalkStream Live, SHR Media, K98 Talk, iHeartRadio, Rebooting Liberty Radio Network, AM/FM 24/7, and a bunch of others. Today's show, like all our shows, is brought to you by the First Amendment, protected by the Second. Ken and I will be right back.
That's my prerogative. They say I'm nasty, but
You've heard Paul Delks playing the music on the Your Music Matters morning show. He is also an experienced mortgage loan officer working for U.S. Mortgage Corporation and assists homeowners navigate the reverse mortgage process. If you are finding yourself asking questions whether or not you set aside enough for retirement, Paul can sit down with you, your family, and your financial advisor and discuss how a reverse mortgage may be a valuable resource for your retirement plan. You will be responsible for paying your taxes and insurance, and the reverse mortgage can help with this and other expenses, such as home health care or other untimely bills. Put Paul's 20-plus years of experience to work for you, as choosing the right option for your situation can be critical. Call Paul at U.S. Mortgage Corporation at 877-213-9977. That's 877-213-9977. Or go to seniormatters.info for more information. U.S. Mortgage Corporation is a licensed mortgage banker in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware, and an equal housing lender. NMLS number 3901. U.S. Mortgage Corporation is located at 201 Old Country Road, Suite 140, Melville, New York, 11747. This advertisement applies to first lien mortgages. Paul E. Dilks, NMLS is 485904.
Hi, this is Bob Bob Vide, owner of Bob's Little Sports Shop in Glasper, New Jersey. I've had the opportunity to travel in many foreign countries, and I've seen what happens to people when they lose their freedom. I wrote this poem. Give us freedom was the cry as they marched throughout the night. At Concord Bridge in Trenton, for freedom they would fight. To build a nation that would last with peace and liberty, it is a job that's never done if we are to be free. They wrote a declaration to announce that we are free, then a constitution for all the world to see. But this is ink on paper. We must make it last. It must always be defended, and that is quite a task. Today the battle rages for freedom in our land. To save our constitution, we all must take a stand. We must stand up for freedom in our actions every day, and you can stand up with us. Join the NRA. This is Bob Biden of Bob's Little Sports Shop in Glasper, New Jersey. You may call us at area code 856-881-7575 or visit us online at bobslittle.sportshop.com.
What does it take to be the leader in production systems technology? To be the one company that solves production problems at any plant, for any product, and with any technology? It takes a 30-year record of success. It takes total mastery of complex technologies with a history of delivering success every time, without fail. Only one company can claim that high ground in manufacturing line optimization, data automation, and systems integration, and that's Philadelphia Control Systems. In factories worldwide, Philadelphia Control Systems programs, software, and engineering solutions deliver optimal performance and output flow with a record that can't be matched. Any plant, any product, any technology. Philadelphia Control Systems, the leader in production automation since 1982. 800-335-9811. PCS4automation.com. That's PCS, the number 4, automation.com.
The Conservative Commandos radio show is expanding to become the Conservative Commandos Radio Network. We're establishing a front line of conservative radio broadcasters and ironclad patriots to declare war against the madness of liberalism and the Obama administration. Are you tired, as I am, about the disregard for our Constitution? Do you still have faith in the American dream? Are you looking for sensible, smart radio? If so, listen to the Conservative Commandos Radio Network every weekday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on WNJC Radio 1360 a.m. or around the world on the internet at WNJCradio.com. Check out our websites, ConservativeCommandosRadioNetwork.com and CCRN.com for rebroadcasts and network updates. We are the Conservative Commandos Radio Network, where even more newsmakers go to be heard.
This holiday season, help Soldiers for Stockings improve the morale and welfare of members of our armed forces deployed overseas. Now through November 20th, there is so much work to be done, and you can help in many ways. Download the stocking pattern from stockingsforsoldiers.org and start sewing today. Volunteer to help decorate and assemble stockings. Donate Christmas candies, snacks, nuts, chips, drink mixes, DVDs, books, magazines, lip balm, toiletries, and other items needed to fill the stockings. Or help make packets of snowman soup, hot chocolate, to send along with the stockings. For more information, patterns, and a list of items needed, visit stockingsforsoldiers.org. This holiday season, help send our troops a touch of home. For many, it's all they will receive. All stockings need to be completed by November 20th. So get started today at stockingsforsoldiers.org. That's stockingsforsoldiers.org. Stockings for Soldiers, sending stockings filled with joy to our soldiers in harm's way for the 9th consecutive year.
From the East Coast to the West Coast and around the world on the internet. We're coming to you live from the CCRS studios. WNJC 1360. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with your host, Rick Trader. The Conservative Commandos radio show, where the newsmakers go to be heard. Drink my wine. You can call the Conservative Commandos radio show at 856-227-1360. Your opinion counts at 856-227-1360.
This is Congressman Alan West, and you're listening to the Conservative Commando Radio Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to hear rebroadcast of today's show and its great guests, please check out our website, www.ccrsnetwork.com and www.ccrshow.com. On mornings at 9 a.m., log on to leadingedgeradionetwork.com. Or at 1 p.m., log on to www.roar, that's R-O-A-R, radio.net. And at 2 p.m., log on to highplainsdailynews.com. Now you can listen to the Conservative Commandos from any phone by calling 832-999-1199. Ladies and gentlemen, Elon Handelman has been serving in great stead, protecting Israeli heads of states, ministers, ambassadors, and military attachés such as Yitzhak Rabin, Shimon Peres, Benjamin Netanyahu, Ariel Sharon, and the former president of Israel, Haim Herzog. He is an international executive protection and counterintelligence guru, and we're just so pleased to have him with us today, former Israeli Defense Forces Commander Elon Handelman. Good afternoon, sir. It's a great pleasure to have you on the Conservative Commandos Radio Network.
Good afternoon, sir.
You have served in the highest levels of protection and intelligence. And I just want to ask of you, if you could impart to us exactly what are the characteristics, the traits, the skills necessary to have a great footing in the world of counterintelligence?
The question is, what do I need? What kind of characteristics you need to be in this position?
Yes.
Well, it's not so easy to reach to this position. You have to understand that you need to be at least 20 years, in the service in order to reach to this level, and the kind of training. It's not so easy to arrive or to be in this position.
Exactly. It takes a great deal of training and experience.
Absolutely.
But I want to ask you, because you work with all of these great leaders and heads of state, like Shimon Peres and Benjamin Netanyahu, how important did they take the issue of intelligence and protection of their country?
Trying to be specific, because too many answers I have, but trying to be more specifically.
Okay. Well, specifically, exactly how important to them?
I got you. You have to understand that those leaders are the most protected leaders in the world. Too many people wants to arm them, so they need to be protected very well, and by the best people that were trained by the Israeli Secret Service. Many services in the world are taking our advisors, and sending their people to be trained in Israel.
Now, Israel is a very beautiful country, but at the same time, it is surrounded with a great number of enemies, internal and external. In terms of intelligence reporting to those particular leaders, we have a president who has skipped 62% of the intelligence report or morning intelligence briefings just this year. How important is it for those particular leaders to consider on a daily basis in Israel intelligence reporting?
Well, every step in security starts from intelligence. You cannot run security, especially international security, without having intelligence. Our sources of intelligence, the best of the world, starting from the Mossad, from other institutions, that they're getting the best sources of retrieve information.
Yeah,
intelligence is number one.
Mm-hmm. Now, these sources of information are constant and movable. How did you all relay information to the general public of when there were concerns about national security?
Well, not all the information is revealed for the public. There's some information that you can't reveal. As far as I can tell you right now, that still information that 30 years ago that still public doesn't have an idea about it. So need to be very, very, very specific issue in order to release information.
Exactly. Now, in terms of terrorism, which you all faced on a daily basis, how did the people of Israel prepare themselves against terroristic attacks?
Well, that's on a daily basis. Even now, every day people in Israel are be attacked, by terrorists. And you have to learn to get used to watch over your shoulder. I'm not saying that you need to be paranoid, but you have to be ready for any moment, any given moment, to any attack, shooting or stabbing or car bomb or suicide bombing. It's a daily life in Israel.
Now, why do the terrorists persist in Israel when you all have done so well in terms of defeating their interests, whether it's the Muslim Brotherhood or Hamas or Al-Qaeda or ISIS? Why do they persist in doing that on a daily basis with you all?
That because they don't like Israel. The terrorists they want to kick the Jews to the sea. So they think that if they will continue to commit terrorism action, they can do it. But this is just a dream, and this is not from today or 10 years ago or 40 years ago. This is from the day that Israel was established in 1948, and it seems to me, in my opinion, that it will continue until who knows when.
Exactly. Now, gentlemen, in terms of those
hey, Ken, we need to take a break. Could you hold that question and take us to the break?
Go right ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm really intense on this one. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking with Ilan Handelman, who has had such great extensive experience in terms of caring for the Israeli state and its leaders. We'll bring him back right after this particular break. We're coming to you live from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network Studios, WNJC 1360, our flagship station in Philadelphia, and around the world on the internet with CPR Worldwide Media, TalkStream Live, SHR Media, K98 Talk, iHeartRadio, Rebooting Liberty Radio Network, HighPlainsDailyNews.com, and AM/FM 24/7. We'll be right back with Ilan Handelman.
I really don't care. That's my prerogative. They say I'm nasty, but I...
The Conservative Commandos radio show is expanding to become the Conservative Commandos Radio Network. We are establishing a front line of conservative radio broadcasters and ironclad patriots to declare war against the madness of liberalism and the Obama administration. Are you tired of the disregard for our Constitution? Do you still have faith in the American dream? Are you looking for sensible, smart radio? If so, listen to the Conservative Commandos Radio Network every weekday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on WNJC Radio, 1360 on your AM dial, or around the world on the internet at WNJCradio.com. Check out our website, CCRSnetwork.com, for rebroadcasts and network updates. We are the Conservative Commandos Radio Network, where now even more newsmakers go to be heard.
Hi, this is Bob Vide, owner of Bob's Little Sports Shop in Glassboro, New Jersey. I've had the opportunity to travel in many foreign countries, and I've seen what happens to people when they lose their freedom. I wrote this poem. Give us freedom was the cry as they marched throughout the night. At Concord Bridge in Trenton, for freedom they would fight. To build a nation that would last with peace and liberty, it is a job that's never done if we are to be free. They wrote a declaration to announce that we are free, then a constitution for all the world to see. But this is ink on paper. We must make it last. It must always be defended, and that is quite a task. Today the battle rages for freedom in our land. To save our Constitution, we all must take a stand. We must stand up for freedom in our actions every day, and you can stand up with us. Join the NRA. This is Bob Biden of Bob's Little Sports Shop in Glasper, New Jersey. You may call us at area code 856-881-7575 or visit us online at bobslittle.sportshop.com.
This holiday season, help Soldiers for Stockings improve the morale and welfare of members of our armed forces deployed overseas. Now through November 20th, there is so much work to be done, and you can help in many ways. Download the stocking pattern from stockingsforsoldiers.org and start sewing today. Volunteer to help decorate and assemble stockings. Donate Christmas candies, snacks, nuts, chips, drink mixes, DVDs, books, magazines, lip balm, toiletries, and other items needed to fill the stockings. Or help make packets of snowman soup, hot chocolate, to send along with the stockings. For more information, patterns, and a list of items needed, visit stockingsforsoldiers.org. This holiday season, help send our troops a touch of home. For many, it's all they will receive. All stockings need to be completed by November 20th. So get started today at stockingsforsoldiers.org. That's stockingsforsoldiers.org. Stockings for Soldiers, sending stockings filled with joy to our soldiers in harm's way for the 9th consecutive year.
You can call the Conservative Commandos radio show at 856-227-1360. Your opinion counts at 856-227-1360.
This is Congressman Alan West, and you're listening to the Conservative Commando radio show.
If you would like to hear rebroadcast of today's show, please check out our website, www.ccrsnetwork.com. and www.ccrshow.com, or mornings at 9 a.m., log on to leadingedgeradionetwork.com, or at 1 p.m., log on to roarradio.net, that's ROARRADIO.net, and at 2 p.m., log on to highplainsdailynews.com. Now you can listen to the Conservative Commandos from any phone by calling 832-999-1199. Great guests we have in our studio this particular day, Ilan Hanovan, who started many of the great leaders of Israel. I want to pick up from our last question. Basically, the experience that you've had to deal with a daily barrage of attacks and protecting not only the investigators in the Secret Service, but also the military leaders and also the political leaders of the day. When you think of Israel, how do you compare Israel's security situation regarding terrorists to the United States of today?
That's a good question. I think that in the United States, there's two termination. Is reactive, and in Israel, we are proactive. When we know that something is going on, we're not waiting until they will attack us. We're going to do it before. We're going to prevent it. This is reactive. I think in the United States, I'm not trying to criticize. I'm trying to explain the concept of the problem. You know, you don't have to wait. You have to attack it before it. When we know there is a terrorist in somewhere in Israel, we are not waiting until he will attack us. We're going to grab him. That's a different concept of between Israel and the United States. Even though I know that, last week, there arrived few high-rank commanders to learn in Israel how to prevent tactics, and to know what to do, the right thing to do.
Now, in regards to San Bernardino, we are beginning to get insight that the Homeland Security, thanks to a whistleblower, insights that the Department of Homeland Security actually deleted intelligence records regarding those particular two terrorists because of the ideal that they were being profiled. And so I would ask you, sir, what's wrong with profiling?
There's nothing wrong with profiling. Actually, that's a positive one. Because I'll give an example, in the airport. You're trying to profile, people that are trying to smuggle bombs or firearms. You can profile millions of people, but if you know the tactics and you know the strategy how to profile the people and to nail them, it's easy to do it. It's very easy, rather than to check 100,000 passengers every day and spending time and money and resources for nothing. Profiling is the best strategy to detect terrorism action.
Now, in here, we hear from Obama and we hear from other leaders, especially in the black community, that profiling is racist. And I want to ask you, sir, did you get those type of complaints in Israel about profiling?
Yes. Every day we're doing profiling all over. At the airport, at the road that leads to the Palestinian territories. We're trying to see who has potential to attack.
Yeah,
it's when you're trying to do something. I mean, it shows on your face that you are sweating, or your eyes are not in good condition. You know, you can't control. This is the profiling. You can see right away that you're trying to do something.
Thank you. I agree. I concur with that type of thinking. Yet we're being told here that we can't profile. And on top of that, presidential candidate Donald Trump made a comment that we need to keep all Muslims out of America from migrating here until we've settled the issue. Was that prudent in the eyes of Israel, or in your ideas?
This is ridiculous what he said.
Okay.
I mean, I disagree with what he said. But if you can select, you can filterize the access in much better ways, that's going to help to prevent terrorism. Now, there is many ways you can filterize. I cannot mention it on the radio, but there are many ways to select or to make to filterize people without hurting the race or the religious or something like this.
Okay. Now, based on knowing that profiling is the best option in terms of doing counterintelligence.
It is the best option. Believe me, I did it. It's the best option.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
It is the best option. Believe me, I did it from my career.
Profiling is the best option, the best way of doing that. But we have a presidency and an administration that refuses to do it. And does that put the United States in harm's way?
It is. It's sadly to say, but it is. I don't understand how many times, United States need to be heard in order to make the determination that there is other ways to prevent terrorism. Why it happen every time?
Now, what can we expect from terrorists who have access to powerful weapons, ammo, and all the other goods and services that come with self-defense in this particular country?
Well, see what happened in Southern Medina. Do you think that will be the last one? I don't think so. I'm telling you the truth. I don't think so. I don't know how many terrorism cells already existing in the United States. We don't know. But I don't think that will be the last one.
So how, if I were the mayor of my city and I came to you, Mr. Handelman, and I said, we're not used to car bombs and we're not used to all that kind of stuff, how should our cities prepare for the oncoming onslaught?
Well, this is like a Bible. I'm not gonna go to the details, over the
exactly.
The system, I have to keep it confidential, but there are many things that you can do.
With the first part of that is just the onus to own up to the fact that this is going to be a daily occurrence in the United States of America.
Absolutely, it's a problem. It is a problem.
Now, as you're working with individuals to prepare them, and I know that I'm coming towards the end here, but there's some people who have such great pride as leaders that doing the wrong thing requires them to keep it up. Should they sit down and talk with you and other leaders who have counterintelligence experience to find out the right way of doing things? And if so, how do they get in contact with you?
Absolutely not whatsoever. I'm not the only one that does it. There are many Israelis in the same status that I am. That have experience and know absolutely. And I think they should consulting with us, as they can contact us, and we can go from this point. There are many things can be done, and I'm open to any institution that wants to use my service.
Mr. Handelman, it was a great honor to have you on our program today. But I had a curiosity. This is a general curiosity. You protected so many powerful men of Israel. Which one of them has the best sense of humor?
That's a good question. All of them.
All of them. All right. Thank you so much, sir, for coming on the air with us today.
You're very welcome.
That was Ilan Andelman, one of the premier counterintelligence officers in the history of Israel and a protector of many of their great leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, when we come back from our break, we'll be talking with Lowell Point about why Obama has to play catch-up with ISIS, and also concerns about what's happening in Baltimore with the prosecution of the police. Want to let you all know that we are coming to you live from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network Studios, WNJC 1360, our flagship station in Philadelphia and around the world on the Internet with CPR Worldwide Media, TalkStream Live, SHR Media, K98 Talk, iHeartRadio, Rebooting Liberty Radio Network, HighPlainsDailyNews.com, and AM/FM 24/7. Want to thank also Howie Coleman for getting us that great interview with Ilan Handelman. We'll be right back.
They say I'm crazy. I really don't care. That's my prerogative. They say I'm nasty, but
You've heard Paul Deltz playing the music on the Your Music Matters morning show. He is also an experienced mortgage loan officer working for U.S. Mortgage Corporation and assists homeowners navigate the reverse mortgage process. If you are finding yourself asking questions whether or not you set aside enough for retirement, Paul can sit down with you, your family, and your financial advisor and discuss how a reverse mortgage may be a valuable resource for your retirement plan. You will be responsible for paying your taxes and insurance, and the reverse mortgage can help with this and other expenses, such as home health care or other untimely bills. Put Paul's 20-plus years of experience to work for you, as choosing the right option for your situation can be critical. Call Paul at U.S. Mortgage Corporation at 877-213-9977. That's 877-213-9977. Or go to seniormatters.info for more information. U.S. Mortgage Corporation is a licensed mortgage banker in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware, and an equal housing lender. NMLS number 3901. U.S. Mortgage Corporation is located at 201 Old Country Road, Suite 140, Melville, New York, 11747. This advertisement applies to first lien mortgages. Paul E. Dilks, NMLS is 485904.
Hi, this is Bob Vide, owner of Bob's Little Sports Shop in Glasper, New Jersey. I've had the opportunity to travel in many foreign countries, and I've seen what happens to people when they lose their freedom. I wrote this poem. Give us freedom was the cry as they marched throughout the night. At Concord Bridge in Trenton, for freedom they would fight. To build a nation that would last with peace and liberty, it is a job that's never done if we are to be free. They wrote a declaration to announce that we are free, then a constitution for all the world to see. But this is ink on paper. We must make it last. It must always be defended, and that is quite a task. Today the battle rages for freedom in our land. To save our Constitution, we all must take a stand. We must stand up for freedom in our actions every day, and you can stand up with us. Join the NRA. This is Bob Biden of Bob's Little Sports Shop in Glasper, New Jersey. You may call us at area code 856-881-7575 or visit us online at bobslittle.sportshop.com.
What does it take to be the leader in production systems technology? To be the one company that solves production problems at any plant, for any product, and with any technology? It takes a 30-year record of success. It takes total mastery of complex technologies with a history of delivering success every time, without fail. Only one company can claim that high ground in manufacturing line optimization, data automation, and systems integration, and that's Philadelphia Control Systems. In factories worldwide, Philadelphia Control Systems programs, software, and engineering solutions deliver optimal performance and output flow with a record that can't be matched. Any plant, any product, any technology. Philadelphia Control Systems, the leader in production automation since 1982. 800-335-9811. PCS4automation.com. That's PCS, the number 4, automation.com.
The Conservative Commandos radio show is expanding to become the Conservative Commandos Radio Network. We're establishing a front line of conservative radio broadcasters and ironclad patriots to declare war against the madness of liberalism and the Obama administration. Are you tired, as I am, about the disregard for our Constitution? Do you still have faith in the American dream? Are you looking for sensible, smart radio? If so, listen to the Conservative Commandos Radio Network every weekday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on WNJC Radio 1360 a.m. or around the world on the internet at WNJCradio.com. Check out our websites, ConservativeCommandosRadioNetwork.com and CCRN.com for rebroadcasts and network updates. We are the Conservative Commandos Radio Network, where even more newsmakers go to be heard.
This holiday season, help Soldiers for Stockings improve the morale and welfare of members of our armed forces deployed overseas. Now through November 20th, there is so much work to be done, and you can help in many ways. Download the stocking pattern from stockingsforsoldiers.org and start sewing today. Volunteer to help decorate and assemble stockings. Donate Christmas candies, snacks, nuts, chips, drink mixes, DVDs, books, magazines, lip balm, toiletries, and other items needed to fill the stocking. Or help make packets of snowman soup, hot chocolate, to send along with the stockings. For more information, patterns, and a list of items needed, visit stockingsforsoldiers.org. This holiday season, help send our troops a touch of home. For many, it's all they will receive. All stockings need to be completed by November 20th. So get started today at stockingsforsoldiers.org. That's stockingsforsoldiers.org. Stockings for Soldiers, sending stockings filled with joy to our soldiers in harm's way for the 9th consecutive year.
From the East Coast to the West Coast and around the world on the internet. We're coming to you live from the CCRS studios. WNJC 1360. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with your host, Rick Trader. The Conservative Commandos radio show, where the newsmakers go to be heard.
Drink my wine.
You can call the Conservative Commandos radio show at 856-227-1360. Your opinion counts at 856-227-1360.
This is Congressman Alan West, and you're listening to the Conservative Commando radio show.
If you would like to hear rebroadcasts of today's great show, please check out our website, www.ccrsnetwork.com and www.ccrshow.com. Or mornings at 9 a.m., log on to leadingedgeradionetwork.com, or at 1 p.m., log on to www.roar, that's R-O-A-R, radio.net, and at 2 p.m., log on to highplainsdailynews.com. Now you can listen to the Conservative Commandos radio show from any phone by calling 832-999-1199. This gentleman has been the owner of a public relations company, a roving editor of Reader's Digest magazine, a legislative aide in California Assembly. Virtually, he's done just about everything in the field of communication. I want to present to some and introduce to others the great Lowell Point. Good afternoon, sir. Great pleasure to have you on the Conservative Commandos radio program.
Yeah, Rick and Ken, great pleasure to be with you. Actually, after 160 years, we've gotten to pronouncing it Ponte. A very Americanized name.
Exactly. Listen, America won't be the same after last week's attacks in San Bernardino. You have great experience in California. Why, or what contributes to San Bernardino happening that it doesn't happen in other places in the U.S.?
Well, first, you haven't heard President Obama's new name for the state?
No, what is it?
He calls where I live, California. Now, the home of the ISIS caliphate. It's so true. Actually, I was born and raised in Redlands, where these terrorists lived. It was the Naval Orange capital of the United States, it was called when I was a kid. But we had very heavy orientation toward the Middle East, though we didn't really know it. For example, when you went down to the Dairy Queen in Redlands, you didn't order a malt. When you went to the Dairy Queen in Redlands, you ordered a date shake. And everybody growing up there understood that when you make a shake with dates, you do not use Deglet Noor dates, you use Medjool dates. That's the right date for that day. I mean, we knew all the different dates. We knew how they're served in Arab countries. We knew all kinds of odd things. And then I went to the University of Southern California. By the way, when we say Southern California, remember, this is desert. Where I grew up in Redlands, average summer day 100 to 105. But it got drier as it got hotter, so you'd actually feel cooler at 105 than you would at 80. And then I went to the University of Southern California. If you go around the Persian Gulf today and meet any oil engineer from any country, chances are they have their college degree in petroleum engineering from the University of Southern California, the number one petroleum engineering university in the world, and certainly one oriented to the Middle East. Next to USC, the Shrine Auditorium looked like a giant thing created out of Arabian Nights. That's what it was made to look like. You would see the crescent and star from the Shrine Auditorium there full in your eyes, looking from the roof of any building at USC. I mean, and date palms, of course, everywhere. So it's the kind of climate that terrorists from the Middle East would find perfectly hospitable, a place much like home in many ways to them. And that's where I came from. And to see all of this happening is rather strange, I must say. But that's fate for you. So no, we've had this, and we just learned a few hours ago that President Obama apparently told the National Security Council and the FBI, the moment this happened, that they were to downplay the terrorist angle of this, that they were to try to put a non-terrorist label on it, all in the name of public relations. That's what he brought them together to discuss. So until last Sunday night for the president actually to use the term terrorist in conjunction with a group that calls itself Islamic, after all, when you see ISIS or ISIL, what does the I stand for? It stands for Islamic. Exactly. And yet he would not acknowledge that. And he gave one of the strangest speeches, I must say, I've ever heard. I mean, it was a speech in which he said that we must not abandon our values, and then he proceeded to abandon most of the more fundamental American values. For example, his Attorney General, Miss Lynch, Loretta Lynch, has said that now if any American dares say anything that offends a Muslim, she will come down on them with all 4 feet and all the ability to sue and harass people from the Department of Justice. We saw the president, in effect, therefore, eradicate the First Amendment, telling people don't speak anything bad of this. Well, I mean, I found myself saying, what if it had been 1940 and I was sitting in London under bombing from German Nazi bombers, and I turned on the radio to hear Winston Churchill as a great wartime leader inspire and encourage me. And then Winston Churchill came on, and the only 2 things he said as our wartime leader was, I've decided for the good of all that I'm going to confiscate the firearms belonging to the British people. Exactly. You wouldn't want to have those things if there was an invasion. And if I then said, we don't want you to say anything bad about Germans because it might cause them to become radicalized and turn into Nazis if they weren't Nazis already. So in other words, shut up and give us your guns. That basically is what Barack Obama said. By the way, wasn't it hysterical when he said that these people had gone down the, quote, dark path of radicalization? Closed quote. If a Republican had said that, he'd be accusing the Republican of making a racist reference by saying it was a dark path. But who is Barack Obama? Barack Obama's whole career was as a radical community organizer.
Exactly.
who used Saul Alinsky tactics of polarization, of divide and conquer, to demonize anyone who opposed him, to pit Americans against each other, to circumvent the Constitution. He himself had worked professionally as an acorn radical and a tactical organizer. He had spent his youth associating with what he called Marxist professors in his autobiography, and he, of course, began his political career in the home of weather underground terrorist and bomber Bill Ayers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and Bernadette Dorinier's wife. Now, when you have a background like that, it's kind of interesting when you condemn others for going down the dark path of radicalization. Because, frankly, in the World Dictionary of Inner Knowledge, when you see the word radicalization, the picture they put next to it is of Barack Obama. I mean, he's the poster boy of radicalization. So in other words, what Barack Obama said, shut up, don't you dare say anything bad about Muslims or Islamists. These really are not Muslims in the pure sense. They are Islamists, which is a little bit different. And he said, we're going to deny the right to have guns to anyone who's on the no-fly list. Now, boys and girls, what is the no-fly list? If you ask anyone in government, how do you get on the no-fly list? They'll say, we don't know, and if we did, we can't tell you. It's a secret. In other words, you could be on the no-fly list tonight if President Obama said he's going to put Rick Trader on the no-fly list. And you would then have to, and this is what's interesting. He's already taken away your...
I'm surprised I'm not there already, by the way, but
look,
that's another story.
First Amendment rights, he's taken away your Second Amendment rights, and he's taken away your legal presumption of innocence. You know, you're innocent until proven guilty. There's no standard for how somebody gets on or gets off the no-fly list. You got that right. The proof is on you, not on the government to prove you belong there. They just put you on, and then you then have to spend thousands of dollars and years begging with judges to take you off. Now, that ain't American.
It certainly ain't.
Three of our most fundamental rights and values, the president denounced and said he was taking away in his speech on Sunday night while preserving our American values.
You know, Barack Obama has been a wonderful ambassador to Islam. Unfortunately, he has not done so well in terms of representing the United States of America. Today we're talking with Lowell Point, who is also the co-author of a wonderful book, and you need to put it on your shelves as soon as you possibly can, especially this Christmas season. It's called The Great Withdrawal. We're talking about Barack Obama. We're talking about the loss of our values at the hands of this particular president, and we're talking about terrorism. When we come back from the break, I want to talk with you, Lowell, about Baltimore and concerns regarding the police and the court cases against the police. Can you hold on with us for that break?
Yeah, absolutely, and that all dovetails into the terrorism we're discussing.
It most certainly does. It most certainly does. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to you live from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios, WNJC 1360, our flagship station in Philadelphia, and around the world on the internet with CPR Worldwide Media, TalkStream Live, SHR Media, K98 Talk, iHeartRadio, Rebooting Liberty Radio Network, HighPlainsDailyNews.com, and AM/FM 24/7. Ladies and gentlemen, Baltimore. It might be blowing up the way San Bernardino did. We'll find out more right after this break.
They say I'm crazy. I really don't care. That's my prerogative. They say I'm nasty, but I...
The Conservative Commandos radio show is expanding to become the Conservative Commandos Radio Network. We are establishing a front line of conservative radio broadcasters and ironclad patriots to declare war against the madness of liberalism and the Obama administration. Are you tired of the disregard for our Constitution? Do you still have faith in the American dream? Are you looking for sensible, smart radio? If so, listen to the Conservative Commandos Radio Network every weekday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on WNJC Radio, 1360 on your AM dial, or around the world on the internet at WNJCradio.com. Check out our website, CCRSnetwork.com, for rebroadcasts and network updates. We are the Conservative Commandos Radio Network, where now even more newsmakers go to be heard.
Hi, this is Bob Viden, owner of Bob's Little Sports Shop in Glasper, New Jersey. I've had the opportunity to travel in many foreign countries, and I've seen what happens to people when they lose their freedom. I wrote this poem. Give us freedom was the cry as they marched throughout the night. At Concord Bridge in Trenton, for freedom they would fight. To build a nation that would last with peace and liberty, it is a job that's never done if we are to be free. They wrote a declaration to announce that we are free, then a constitution for all the world to see. But this is ink on paper. We must make it last. It must always be defended, and that is quite a task. Today the battle rages for freedom in our land. To save our constitution, we all must take a stand. We must stand up for freedom in our actions every day, and you can stand up with us. Join the NRA. This is Bob Viden of Bob's Little Sports Shop in Glasper, New Jersey. You may call us at area code 856-881-7575 or visit us online at bobslittlesportshop.com.
This holiday season, help Soldiers for Stockings improve the morale and welfare of members of our armed forces deployed overseas. Now through November 20th, there is so much work to be done, and you can help in many ways. Download the stocking pattern from stockingsforsoldiers.org and start sewing today. Volunteer to help decorate and assemble stockings. Donate Christmas candies, snacks, nuts, chips, drink mixes, DVDs, books, magazines, lip balm, toiletries, and other items needed to fill the stocking. Or help make packets of snowman soup, hot chocolate, to send along with the stockings. For more information, patterns, and a list of items needed, visit stockingsforsoldiers.org. This holiday season, help send our troops a touch of home. For many, it's all they will receive. All stockings need to be completed by November 20th. So get started today at stockingsforsoldiers.org. That's stockingsforsoldiers.org. Stockings for Soldiers, sending stockings filled with joy to our soldiers in harm's way for the 9th consecutive year.
You can call the Conservative Commandos Radio Show at 856-227-1360. Your opinion counts at 856-227-1360.
This is Congressman Alan West, and you're listening to the Conservative Commando Radio Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to hear rebroadcasts of today's tremendous show, please check out our websites, www.ccrsnetwork.com and www.ccrshow.com. On mornings at 9 a.m., log on to leadingedgeradionetwork.com. Or at 1 p.m., log on to www.roar, that's R-O-A-R, radio.net. And at 2 p.m., log on to highplainsdailynews.com. Now you can listen to the Conservative Commandos from any phone by calling 832-999-1199. The co-author of a wonderful book, The Great Withdrawal, Lowell Point, is with us today. The defense has rested this afternoon. In fact, that news just coming in Baltimore, and the first of the police officers' trials in the Freddie Gray case in Baltimore. Your commentary, sir, on virtually what's happening with our respect for the police.
Oh, well, our respect for the police in most civilized cities in America is enormous, but in 35 Democrat-controlled cities, it, of course, has plummeted, and Baltimore is one of those tragic cities. In this case, the first trial was of William Porter. Fascinating case, 26 years old. He virtually was Freddie Gray. He could have been Freddie Gray. Same age, same single black parent mother, same poverty he grew up in. The only difference is Freddie Gray went on to become a drug pusher, basically a terrorist waging chemical warfare against the children of Baltimore, which is now the heroin capital of the United States, thanks to the Democrats first getting kids addicted to welfare and then seeing that addiction slide onto heroin. 1 out of 10 people in Baltimore is a heroin addict. Most people don't appreciate that. However, on the other side of that, cops were trying to hold back that nightmare tide and protect children. And William Porter, as a young man who could have become a drug pusher and addict, as Freddie Gray did, instead went down to the Boys and Girls Club to play basketball as a child. He met 3 cops who just happened to be there doing community outreach and communicating with the kids. He had no father of his own. He fell in love with the cops, decided to become one of them, and help defend the community. And so what do we have today in Baltimore under Democrat progressive rule? In the city that gave us Nancy Pelosi and all kinds of nightmarish people. William Porter is now the guy who's being demonized and threatened with 20 years unless he turns evidence on the fellow cops, the other 6 cops in the odd case of Gray's death. Meanwhile, drug pusher Freddie Gray is a martyr and a hero. I say there's something wrong with that picture, boys and girls, but they could have been the same person.
Indeed, there is something wrong with that particular picture, and that's the utopian Mark O'Malley wonderment that's been left behind in the inner-city ghettos of America.
The same Martin O'Malley who, when he was governor, and by the way, his career is based on marrying into the Curran clan, the political bosses, the Democrat bosses of Baltimore. That's how he got his positions as mayor and governor. But from that, he passed a law to say that the government owns the rainwater that falls on your roof, and you can be fined or imprisoned for using your own rainwater. He also passed a tax on millionaires that caused 2,000 of them to flee the state of Maryland. And that wound up meaning Maryland got less revenue than it had before, but Martin O'Malley didn't care because his goal, like Barack Obama's goal in a similar situation, he said was fairness. And fairness means class warfare against the productive and the successful. I mean, it's turning America on its head. Now, the subtitle of our newest book, which is just out, it's titled, We Have Seen the Future and It Looks Like Baltimore, American Dream versus Progressive Dream. We show this war, this dream war between the American dream of small government, individual rights, individual responsibility, freedom, against the progressive dream, which is collectivist. It doesn't even believe in the individual. It believes that you are just defined as whatever groups you belong to, based on your skin color, based on your gender, or whichever of 26 different genders now you may have. It teaches you to think of yourself only as someone fighting for your team, your group, against other groups. In other words, it's a way the politicians have of ruling society. And what frightens me about this, Benjamin Franklin once said, make yourselves sheep and wolves will eat you. Why is this important? Because the progressive dream is to have a paternalistic government. Government takes the place of God and family. Government becomes your big father or your big brother or your big sister in the case of Obama. And that means, where are you if the government is the father? Oh, you're the child. You're the infantilized one. You're the one at a university who says, oh, I must have a safe place. I must have a trigger warning. I must not be exposed to any idea that could be different from what I already believe in. I can't be threatened like this. It amazes me at the University of Missouri, these people doing this, raiding the library, disrupting the campus, trying to get their face on television. Do they understand that they have just burned up the college degree they on average borrowed $27,000 in student loans to get? Do they know what it'll mean when they now take their degree to an employer and they're competing for a job opening with 3 other people, and they say, oh, I'm from the University of Missouri, here's my degree. And the employer will look at them and say, oh, you went to the school that teaches hatred of capitalism, racial polarization, and disruption of business. Okay, sure, I'll hire you. I mean, one of my slogans in this season has been Black Fridays Matter. Did you notice how Rahm Emanuel in Chicago, on the busiest shopping weekend of the year right after Thanksgiving, just let the mobs go in and block access to all the businesses there? The businesses that pay the taxes that keep his government operating. And he allowed these thugs to come in and shut down to stop people from coming into their stores. I mean, that too is a kind of act of terrorism. By the way, our book, I know our time is almost gone here, so let me say, if people would like the 250-page book on Baltimore, using Baltimore as an example of how this battle between the American dream and the progressive dream is being fought, we'll be happy to give you the book absolutely free and post-paid. We'll pay for all of it.
Wow.
We'll pay for the phone call to get it, because my co-author doesn't need the money from selling a few books. He's a very successful entrepreneur who built his own business empire over 30 years. You see him every week on Neil Cavuto on Fox. Craig Smith and I write these basically just to help save our children and grandchildren and yours. We're just trying to arm you with information so you can protect yourself, so we can save the Republic, save the Constitution, fight the same kind of heroic fight you guys are doing there on the radio, God bless you. And so we just want to give people these books.
Hey, Lowell, you know, when you're talking about...
Yeah, can I give them an 800 number?
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Because I don't know how much time we have left, and you do. 1-800-630-1494 is the number for the free book. That's 1-800-630-1494, or as I like to say, think of Columbus sailing the ocean blue in 1492, but not quite. It's 1-800-630-1494. Just leave your name and number. We'll get back to you, find out what form you'd like the book in. This is the 6 out of 12 books we're doing. This way we can let people know when we do the next 6.
Here on the Conservative Commandos radio show, we've been talking with Lowell Ponte. And Lowell, I think that the media is just as bad as a lot of these college campus groups. A few weeks ago, there was a rally at Rowan University. I guess that has about 10,000 students that goes to Rowan University here in South Jersey. And one half of the front page of the regional paper, the South Jersey Times, was covered with this event. Pictures, banner headlines, the whole thing. They called it the March on Mullica Hill. But when you read the devil in the details, Lowell, there was only about 40 people that attended this rally. But yet, that got half the front page.
Well, you cover the local news, and when it squeals, it leads. So they were willing to go out and squeal. But this is a problem. You know how we could solve a lot of this in America? Al Gore and company used to scream and yell against what they called urban sprawl. Urban sprawl means people moving just far enough out into the suburbs or exurbs to be beyond the reach of the Democrat tax collector in a city.
Right.
That's what they didn't like. We need a lot more urban sprawl in America, because the more decentralized we are, the harder we are for terrorists to hit.
Lowell Ponte, we got to run, but I want to thank you for joining us. So, Lowell Ponte, please, one more time, give out your websites and that 800 number.
All you need is the 800 number for the free book, 800-630-1494. And it is an amazing book. You'll love it.
All right. Lowell, thank you for joining us on the Conservative Commandos radio show.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, too. And you are listening to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Ken McClinton and Rick Trader, coming to you from the studios of the Conservative Commandos radio network, WNJC 1360 in Philly, around the world on the internet with CPR Worldwide Media, TalkStream Live, SHR Media, K98 Talk, iHeartRadio, Rebooting Liberty Radio Network, AM, FM 24/7, and a whole bunch of others. On the other side, we're going to be speaking with congressional candidate Lori Bartley. Be right back.
That's my prerogative. They say I'm nasty, but
You've heard Paul Deltz playing the music on the Your Music Matters morning show. He is also an experienced mortgage loan officer working for U.S. Mortgage Corporation and assists homeowners navigate the reverse mortgage process. If you are finding yourself asking questions whether or not you set aside enough for retirement, Paul can sit down with you, your family, and your financial advisor and discuss how a reverse mortgage may be a valuable resource for your retirement plan. You will be responsible for paying your taxes and insurance, and the reverse mortgage can help with this and other expenses, such as home health care or other untimely bills. Put Paul's 20 20-plus years of experience to work for you, as choosing the right option for your situation can be critical. Call Paul at U.S. Mortgage Corporation at 877-213-9977. That's 877-213-9977. Or go to seniormatters.info for more information. U.S. Mortgage Corporation is a licensed mortgage banker in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware, and an equal housing lender. NMLS number 3901. U.S. Mortgage Corporation is located at 201 Old Country Road, Suite 140, Melville, New York, 11747. This advertisement applies to first lien mortgages. Paul E. Dilks, NMLS is 485904.
Hi, this is Bob Vide, owner of Bob's Little Sports Shop in Glasper, New Jersey. I've had the opportunity to travel in many foreign countries, and I've seen what happens to people when they lose their freedom. I wrote this poem. Give us freedom was the cry as they marched throughout the night. At Concord Bridge in Trenton, for freedom they would fight. To build a nation that would last with peace and liberty, it is a job that's never done if we are to be free. They wrote a declaration to announce that we are free, then a constitution for all the world to see. But this is ink on paper. We must make it last. It must always be defended, and that is quite a task. Today the battle rages for freedom in our land. To save our Constitution, we all must take a stand. We must stand up for freedom in our actions every day, and you can stand up with us. Join the NRA. This is Bob Biden of Bob's Little Sports Shop in Glasper, New Jersey. You may call us at area code 856-881-7575 or visit us online at bobslittle.sportshop.com.
What does it take to be the leader in production systems technology? To be the one company that solves production problems at any plant, for any product, and with any technology? It takes a 30-year record of success. It takes total mastery of complex technologies with a history of delivering success every time, without fail. Only one company can claim that high ground in manufacturing line optimization, data automation, and systems integration, and that's Philadelphia Control Systems. In factories worldwide, Philadelphia Control Systems programs, software, and engineering solutions deliver optimal performance and output flow with a record that can't be matched. Any plant, any product, any technology. Philadelphia Control Systems, the leader in production automation since 1982. 800-335-9811. PCS4automation.com. That's PCS, the number 4, automation.com.
The Conservative Commandos radio show is expanding to become the Conservative Commandos Radio Network. We're establishing a front line of conservative radio broadcasters and ironclad patriots to declare war against the madness of liberalism and the Obama administration. Are you tired, as I am, about the disregard for our Constitution? Do you still have faith in the American dream? Are you looking for sensible, smart radio? If so, listen to the Conservative Commandos Radio Network every weekday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on WNJC Radio 1360 a.m. or around the world on the internet at WNJCradio.com. Check out our websites, ConservativeCommandosRadioNetwork.com and CCRN.com for rebroadcasts and network updates. We are the Conservative Commandos Radio Network, where even more newsmakers go to be heard.
This holiday season, help Soldiers for Stockings improve the morale and welfare of members of our armed forces deployed overseas. Now through November 20th, there is so much work to be done, and you can help in many ways. Download the stocking pattern from stockingsforsoldiers.org and start sewing today. Volunteer to help decorate and assemble stockings. Donate Christmas candies, snacks, nuts, chips, drink mixes, DVDs, books, magazines, lip balm, toiletries, and other items needed to fill the stocking. Or help make packets of snowman soup, hot chocolate, to send along with the stockings. For more information, patterns, and a list of items needed, visit stockingsforsoldiers.org. This holiday season, help send our troops a touch of home. For many, it's all they will receive. All stockings need to be completed by November 20th. So get started today at stockingsforsoldiers.org. That's stockingsforsoldiers.org. Stockings for Soldiers, sending stockings filled with joy to our soldiers in harm's way for the 9th consecutive year.
From the East Coast to the West Coast and around the world on the internet. We're coming to you live from the CCRS studios, WNJC 1360. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with your host, Rick Trader. The Conservative Commandos Radio Show, where the newsmakers go to be heard. You can call the Conservative Commandos Radio Show at 856-227-1360. Your opinion counts at 856-227-1360.
This is Congressman Alan West, and you're listening to the Conservative Commando Radio Show.
If you would like to hear great programming, this rebroadcast of today's show, please check out our website, www.ccrsnetwork.com and www.ccrshow.com. On mornings at 9 a.m., log on to leadingedgeradionetwork.com. At 1 p.m., log on to www.roar, that's R-O-A-R, radio.net. And at 2 p.m., log on to highplainsdailynews.com. Now you can listen to the Conservative Commandos from any phone by calling 832-999-1199. This young lady is taking up an arduous challenge, and that is to reclaim the 18th Congressional District, Houston, Texas, for the Republican Party. Without further ado, Ms. Lori Bartley, good afternoon. Pleasure to have you on the Conservative Commandos Radio Network.
Good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for having me back. I would like to make one slight correction on the intro. I will be claiming Congressional District 18 for the first time for the Republican Party.
There we go. All right. Thank you for that correction. Deservedly so. Ms. Bartley, we've been speaking today about the inner city issues. We've been speaking about terrorism in our country, and I found it just stunning that you came out, unlike the Republican Party, and agreed with Donald Trump on his comments regarding blockading immigration to this country because individuals happen to come from Muslim countries. I want to ask you, why did you come up with that decision, and are voters supportive of it?
Now, you're talking about my Facebook post of the statute yesterday, am I correct?
That's correct.
The law is the law. We cannot change it. I was a little bit facetious in that. We cannot change. The law is the law. The way to change it is we have to go back and repeal it or amend it. So looking at it that way, it is what it is, and presidentially, the president does have that right, which was stated in the statute for those who got to see it. I would like to clarify a little bit. I do understand that the Muslim population that is radicalized is very small in comparison to the Muslim population that is not, because there are many Muslims who have laid down their life for our country, serving our country, and who still do so even as we speak. And it's very, very difficult to say that we are closing our borders to Muslims because it's not a group of people. Islam, the Muslim religion is an ideology.
Yeah.
And if you and to say that you can close your borders to ideology is ridiculous, because you can't. There are Muslims. There are people who are American-born who have converted to the Muslim faith. That does not necessarily mean that they are radicalized or not radicalized. So really, you want to get at the heart of the issue, at the heart of what terrorism is. As a Christian, as a believer in Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, I could be a terrorist. Because it doesn't meet my physical being, and my ideology can sometimes be very not reflective of each other. Does that make sense?
Exactly. Well, I understand exactly what you're saying in terms of ideology, but the point being that geographically and for any particular purpose, according to the 1952 immigration law, if the individual is not coming into our country to first acclimate themselves to it and then assimilate to it, and then of good character and a moral uprightness pursue the American way, then we can now allow them to stay. And that's the truth of the matter.
Right.
Whether you are a Muslim or a Christian. But
that's right. Let me take that one step further, because what we originally started off talking about is how Donald Trump said that he would close our borders to all Muslims. One of the things, what we really need to, that is really not what the issue is. That is not going to get at the heart of the problem. If we want to get at the heart of the problem, terrorism is really hatred. It is hatred with a purpose. At its core principle is hatred with a purpose. That hatred leads to action. So what we really need to be able to identify are the actions and not the religion. So we need to be able to identify what terroristic actions are out there. Some things have started talking at my house, but I didn't know what's going on. There's voices in the back. So what we really need to talk about, is how can we sort of define terrorism and define terroristic actions, and then we can legislate the action. So we can find laws that are not reactionary, but that are anticipatory. And what I would use as an example is when methamphetamine, meth, is still a big problem in the U.S. today. But when we found out that people were going into their Walmarts and Targets and whatever and buying Sudafed products at a high rate and high quantities, that they were most likely making meth. So we put restrictions in place to flag people who were buying high amounts of meth. And it cut down on those people's ability to be able to go to Walmart and buy 50 cases of meth, 50 cases of Sudafed to make their meth with. So if we somewhat...
Lori, I think, and we have to go to a quick break, a hard break here, but like Elon Handelman said earlier, who is from Israel Defense Ministry, simply removing from a reactive to a proactive position would make us a far better country.
Absolutely.
Simply that. Exactly. Listen, if you would like to hear, first and foremost, this particular broadcast, you can always turn to Conservative Commandos Radio Network Studios, where we're coming to you live. WNJC 1360, our flagship station in Philadelphia and around the world on the internet with CPR Worldwide Media, TalkStream Live, SHR Media, K98 Talk, iHeartRadio, Rebooting Liberty Radio Network, HighPlainsDailyNews.com, and AM/FM 24/7. We'll be back with Lori Bartley, and we'll be talking about Planned Parenthood.
They say I'm crazy, I really don't care. That's my prerogative. They say I'm nasty, but I...
The Conservative Commandos radio show is expanding to become the Conservative Commandos Radio Network. We are establishing a front line of conservative radio broadcasters and ironclad patriots to declare war against the madness of liberalism and the Obama administration. Are you tired of the disregard for our Constitution? Do you still have faith in the American dream? Are you looking for sensible, smart radio? If so, listen to the Conservative Commandos Radio Network every weekday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on WNJC Radio, 1360 on your AM dial, or around the world on the internet at WNJCradio.com. Check out our website, CCRSnetwork.com, for rebroadcasts and network updates. We are the Conservative Commandos Radio Network, where now even more newsmakers go to be heard.
Hi, this is Bob Vide, owner of Bob's Little Sports Shop in Glasper, New Jersey. I've had the opportunity to travel in many foreign countries, and I've seen what happens to people when they lose their freedom. I wrote this poem. Give us freedom was the cry as they marched throughout the night. At Concord Bridge in Trenton, for freedom they would fight. To build a nation that would last with peace and liberty, it is a job that's never done if we are to be free. They wrote a declaration to announce that we are free, then a constitution for all the world to see. But this is ink on paper. We must make it last. It must always be defended, and that is quite a task. Today, the battle rages for freedom in our land. To save our Constitution, we all must take a stand. We must stand up for freedom in our actions every day, and you can stand up with us. Join the NRA. This is Bob Biden of Bob's Little Sports Shop in Glasper, New Jersey. You may call us at area code 856-881-7575 or visit us online at bobslittlesportshop.com.
This holiday season, help Soldiers for Stockings improve the morale and welfare of members of our armed forces deployed overseas. Now through November 20th, there is so much work to be done, and you can help in many ways. Download the stocking pattern from stockingsforsoldiers.org and start sewing today. Volunteer to help decorate and assemble stockings. Donate Christmas candies, snacks, nuts, chips, drink mixes, DVDs, books, magazines, lip balm, toiletries, and other items needed to fill the stocking. Or help make packets of snowman soup, hot chocolate, to send along with the stockings. For more information, patterns, and a list of items needed, visit stockingsforsoldiers.org. This holiday season, help send our troops a touch of home. For many, it's all they will receive. All stockings need to be completed by November 20th. So get started today at stockingsforsoldiers.org. That's stockingsforsoldiers.org. Stockings for Soldiers, sending stockings filled with joy to our soldiers in harm's way for the 9th consecutive year.
You can call the Conservative Commandos radio show at 856-227-1360. Your opinion counts at 856-227-1360.
This is Congressman Alan West, and you're listening to the Conservative Commando radio show.
If you would like to hear rebroadcast of this wonderful program, today's show, please check out our websites, www.ccrsnetwork.com and www.ccrshow.com. On mornings at 9 a.m., log on to leadingedgeradionetwork.com. Or at 1 p.m., log on to www.roar, that's R-O-A-R, radio.net. And at 2 p.m., log on to highplaceDailyNews.com. Now you can listen to the Conservative Commandos from any phone by calling 832-999-1199. We're with the wonderful Lori Bartley, who is running in the 18th Congressional District, Houston, Texas, for U.S. Congress. Following up on our conversation regarding Donald Trump's comments, many people confuse the privilege that our executive in chief has regarding immigration using the 1952 immigration law. And as well, they confuse it to say that that's a commentary on those people who are in this particular country who are citizens and so on. Are they confused by saying that, or are they trying to confuse people by saying that?
Well, actually, I think it's a little bit of both. I think there are those that are truly confused by it, and then there are those who take it and manipulate it to try and confuse others to their own end, to whatever benefit they may see they can absorb from that.
Exactly. Listen, there was a plan by Planned Parenthood, to coin a phrase, to build the nation's largest abortion center in your congressional district. And part of their funding comes from the federal government. There were statements in September by the Republicans when it was a hot issue that they were going to try to defund Planned Parenthood. They have not put together a spending package to defund Planned Parenthood. I want to ask, first and foremost, your thoughts regarding the role of Planned Parenthood, especially in urban America, and then secondly, should the U.S. Congress defund Planned Parenthood?
Okay. I am going to answer this question, and it may be what you're looking for, and it may not be what you're looking for, and it may surprise half of America that I would say this. But as a congresswoman, as a potential congresswoman and soon-to-be congresswoman, by the grace of God and with the help of my congressional district, I would never, ever, ever vote for a bill to continue funding Planned Parenthood. And the reason that I would not do that is because the origins of Planned Parenthood, when Margaret Sanger founded Planned Parenthood, her intentions and her beliefs were to eradicate the general population of minorities. As a minority, I would never want one single dollar of my money going to an organization that was put in place to eradicate me, my family, my family's family, or my children.
Hey, Lori, I got to jump in for a minute. Here. I agree with this comment that you just said, except I would hope that you would just not think about the black children that have been killed because of abortion, but all children. You see, I think that what we need to do, we need to think of we, the people, not just we, these hyphenated people, or we, those hyphenated people. But I appreciate what you just said, but I really do think that first and foremost, you would want to get rid of or not support or give a single taxpayer dollar to Planned Parenthood, because in my opinion...
If you would have let me finish, I would have gotten to that. Because what I said originally was that minority, and that means all minority groups, not Caucasians. Now, that is why Planned Parenthood was set up, and that is what I stated specifically, and that is the history.
Well, that was your number one. That was your number one argument for defunding it.
Where I was going was to say that as a pro-lifer, I do not believe in abortion for any minority, for any group of people. So I was not going to hyphenate it and say that tax dollars shouldn't go there just because of the minorities. I said from my own personal opinion, and I gave you the history of why I had that opinion about Planned Parenthood. Now, I do not believe that Planned Parenthood should be funded federally because I do not believe in abortion. However, if Planned Parenthood as an organization wants to exist, and there are a group of people who would like to keep it in existence with the purposes of having abortions, then let it be privately funded by those individuals, but not by the tax dollars and not by the federal government.
I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Okay, now that's what I was going to say, but you interrupted me before I could get to that point.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that you brought that point out. Hey, Lori Bartley, we got to run. We're up against time constraints here. Could you please tell our audience where they could find out more about you and your campaign?
Yes, you can go to www.bartleyforcongress.com, and that's their website. You can go on, you can donate, you can volunteer, you can endorse me, you can read more about me.
All right.
And you can contact me.
Lori Bartley, we want to thank you so much for joining us on Conservative Commandos. Take care, God bless, and Merry Christmas.
You are very welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right, have a good day. Hey, Ken, we have a couple of minutes left. I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about what you're going to be talking about tomorrow on A New Day Black and Red.
Almost certainly. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to tune in at 5 p.m. on Saturday as we talk about the crusade.
Actually, Ken, we're going to start you tomorrow at 4 p.m. because you usually do a 2-hour show that you send to us.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's all right.
Thank you, benevolent dictator.
You're welcome.
We're going to talk about the Crusades tomorrow and how people have maligned the reasonings for the Crusades in order to castigate Christians as evil and intolerable versus their adversaries, Muslims.
All right.
Oh, we'll be talking about that.
Sounds good. Ken, I wanted to invite our listeners to please send to me any links of any Christmas parody songs. You know, Christmas this year comes on Friday, so Thursday and Friday we will not be doing Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. We will not be doing our live Conservative Commandos, but this is a political show. So in the Christmas spirit, to have a little bit of fun, we're going to be running our shows of Christmas song parodies. So if our listeners out there have a special one that they like a lot, that you would like us to include in our shows on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, please send those links to me. You can either contact me on Facebook, Rick Trader on Facebook, or through the Conservative Commandos radio show group page, or email me at rick@conservativecommandosradioshow.com. Remember, we're looking for song parodies, Christmas song parodies about politics, about life in general, but it's always a fun show, Ken. So I invite our listeners to send those links to me.
It is always great. And this time of the year, it is just enjoyable just to be able to finally breathe and relax and have a little fun in politics.
You're right with that. Hey, Ken, I want to thank you for sitting in today as my co-host. I also want to thank our guest, Mr. John Forsyth Jr., for doing a great job working the boards. Again, please check out our websites, ccrshow.com or ccrsnetwork.com. And ccrsnetwork.com also talks about the great conservative programming here on WNJC 1360 as part of the Conservative Commandos radio show. But for right now, we got to run, we got to go. Take care. God bless. We'll see you next week on the radio.
WNJC, Washington Township, Philadelphia. Philadelphia's Renaissance radio station. Brought to you from Forsyth Broadcasting. Or listening to us at WNJCradio.com.
The leader in talk radio on the internet. Right here on K98Talk.com.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.